Hi everyone and welcome to my live. I am going to be chatting to Zana Morris today. She's a celebrity personal trainer, nutritionist and the founder of Strong Nutritions. And I'm just going to accept Zana now. And hopefully she should be joining us any moment. We're going to be talking about how she's helped me reduce my stress and anxiety going through the perimenopause, and also a bonus, losing weight on the program as well. Hi Zana, how are
Hello.
you?
I'm very good.
Good.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure. And I'm just saying that I've been working with you now for a number of months, and we reconnected again before Christmas because I was having lots of anxiety and stress through the perimenopause. And you put me on an updated program. And what I'd love to do today is share that with everyone and let you talk us through what you recommended for me and what you would recommend for someone in a similar situation
Yes,
to me.
yes. Well, I mean, we can look at this from a few angles. Obviously, we
Okay.
looked at the nutrition, we
Yes.
looked at the supplements, and the combination is really what worked. Supplements are great because you can often get the result in one just go. But
Yeah.
obviously, the nutrition is what you're doing to yourself all day, every day. So you may as well be
Yeah.
getting that right. You really may as well. So we were looking at the anxiety side, and there was the little bit of the fat loss side as well that you wanted to get, particularly around the middle.
Yes,
um,
absolutely.
and I remember when he first spoke, I wasn't sure about if you did need to lose anything,
Yeah.
but we did decide, you
Yeah, we
decided
did.
you did,
Yeah.
you decided we did.
Yeah.
um, and of course with yourself, because you are vegetarian.
Yes, I'm a vegetarian. I occasionally eat fish, but I'd say 99% of my diet is vegetarian.
Yes. So when we were chatting, so what I needed to look at was that, because obviously I could give you a perfect diet that involved fish and meat and everything that you
Yeah.
couldn't touch, so that would be pointless. So we obviously had to steer clear of that.
Yeah.
And equally, you were mentioning a few things that, listen, I'm not a doctor. I need to be super clear on that to everyone listening. I am not, and I'm certainly never, and I mean never, going to say, contradict something a doctor or hormonal doctor is recommending or saying. That said, there are certain things that come up that nutritionally you can make a difference with. And from when you were talking, it was sounding a lot like there definitely seemed to be menopausal and perimenopausal kind of challenges going
Yeah.
on. And,
Yes,
and
definitely.
it was sounding like there was an estrogen dominance going on for whatever reason,
Mhm.
with a few of the things you mentioned. So it was for that reason that I went in the direction I went in. Because a lot of people will, if anybody follows me, they'll know I often advocate these lovely high fat diets. And in your case, we decided to slipstream in a different direction.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, do you want to actually, why don't you say what we did? I know what we did,
Oh,
don't you worry,
yeah.
but why don't you
Okay.
say what we did? And I'll say why.
Okay. Well, shall I say how, first of all, how I was feeling? So before
Yes,
Christmas, it was probably November, wasn't it? We reconnected again. My
yes.
stress levels were so high and my anxiety. I was stressed about being stressed, basically. I'd got to the point where I was awful. I wasn't getting sleep, and it was just a very bad time. And also, I know that it is caused from perimenopause symptoms. And I have put on weight around my waist. So both of those we wanted to address through your plan. Um, so you put me on an unusual diet that I've never been on before, because in my past I've been lucky where I don't really put on weight, but in this stage of my life I have been putting on weight. And so we went high protein, so I increased my protein a lot, which I'd done previously with you, and also because I'd been having issues with hair loss, so I'd increased it for that, but we increased it even more to help balance everything. So it was high protein. So, for example, my one breakfast might be an omelette with spinach, with 2 to 3 eggs. That would be an example of a breakfast. Um, We also cut out carbs. Ooh, now that was a bit tricky. Having no bread or rice or potatoes because I do love bread so much. However, I did manage to get through it, although I was dreaming about bread at night.
You
Yeah.
were. Yes.
But what I did find, and also because I don't necessarily have a sweet tooth, I'm more of a savoury person, but occasionally I do like to have something sweet. So what I did find with the protein shake that you gave me, that is chocolate flavoured, and that hits every spot. If you miss sweet things, it really kind of gave me, oh, I felt like I've had chocolate when I'd actually had a protein shake.
Yes. Yes. That does help. And that
Yeah,
casein protein is very slow release. And
yeah,
actually, I'm going to tie that together. So, with you, we were looking at, so obviously, as a vegetarian, we've got to work with that.
yeah,
We lent towards low fat, now not zero fat, because
yeah,
obviously you're having full eggs there, they've got
yeah.
lots of good fats in there and all the rest. But we did lean towards lower fat. Um, Now, weirdly, lower fat is quite, it's lower fat is good for losing fat everywhere, but it's particularly good for losing fat off the hips and the chest as well.
Okay,
And if it's an estrogen dominance, lower fat can sometimes be helpful.
okay,
And now, almost everybody knows this nowadays, but just in case, I'll repeat it anyway. One of the big things that happens in perimenopause and menopause is that middle that can expand, if you like. And that is related to the body releasing too much insulin. So everything we can do to get the insulin down is helpful. Hence the let's get rid of the sugars and the carbohydrates. Let's get the protein in there to replace it. And that casein protein, I was just saying, there is very slow release, which means it breaks down slowly. So it sort of drip feeds into the bloodstream rather than a big hit in one
yeah,
go. A big hit in one go can cause the insulin to go up again. So you want everything to feed slowly, if you like. So
yeah,
it's very good for, weirdly, indirectly targeting belly fat, but also for firming and recovering. And obviously that protein fills you. It also makes up all of your structural tissue, which includes hormones and everything else. And indirectly, then the firm tissue burns fat too, so your metabolism goes up as well. So we were
okay,
sort of targeting it from
mm,
the insulin side of it and the estrogen side of it,
yeah,
and let's get the muscle back, and let's not let you feel hungry at the same time, because
yeah.
I'm really not into that. I don't think you should. I don't think we need, at this stage in our lives, I don't think we need to be starving ourselves, and I don't think it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't feel hungry actually. I didn't because I followed the plan that you gave me of the high protein. I just didn't have that hunger feeling at all. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, you should be able to, and on a plan like that, and I think I did say this more than once, if you need to eat 4 times a
Yeah,
day, you eat. The plan, the purpose of the plan is not to get you to feel hungry. The purpose
yeah,
of the plan is that we're feeding you properly when we're feeding you, so to speak. Even if that's twice a day or 4 times a day, that's irrelevant. It's just you eat as you need, but
yeah.
avoiding foods that cause the insulin to go up.
Mhm.
And in your case, we were gently steering away from fats as well in
Yeah,
this case. Often I recommend people get the fats in, and I wouldn't recommend it on a long-term basis necessarily. It can be done on a long-term basis for that question, but this wasn't. This was for a short term to get your body sort
yeah,
of recalibrated, if you like, to get
yeah.
reset.
Mm.
Um, yes, and weirdly, that diet on its own would likely help the anxiety levels. It may or may not solve it, but would likely help. High sugar diets are a disaster, and when I say high sugar, most people I speak to don't actually go around putting sugar into their teas and coffees. Like, they're not necessarily eating
Yeah,
sugar per se, but they can be quite high carbohydrate ones, and that will break, like the bread, it will break
yeah.
down into sugars. So
Yeah,
the
because I
end
think what
result
I was
is
doing was having like 2 slices of toast in the morning with a small bit of protein. But I think because of cutting that out really helped. And as you said, I think the balance over time was
yeah,
amazing, just cutting that out.
it can make a big difference, and you don't get the highs and lows in the same way. You can be much calmer,
Yeah,
much more
absolutely.
stable. I
Yeah,
think. I think. Yeah, yeah, brilliant.
yeah, so, yeah.
Yes,
Super happy the
yes.
diet continued me. Although because I feel like I'm a happy, my anxiety levels and stress have reduced majorly. Also my weight, which I'm very happy about, is now that I'm having carbs at weekends.
Yeah.
So from Friday lunchtime, it's like, woohoo, it's the weekend. And then Friday evening, Saturday and Sunday, basically, I'm going back to like, I'd say a bit of a naughty diet, more of a normal diet. So
Yes.
that then I'm not, so I'm actually, or if I do go out for dinner, say I'm meeting a friend for dinner, then I will break then because I like to have bread with my dinner. So
Yeah.
usually it's Monday to Friday lunchtime when I'm following the no carb diet. But also all the way through, continuing with the high protein, definitely.
Yeah, and it's interesting because carbs have a place.
Yeah,
And I spend a lot of my time trying to get people off them, but
yeah,
actually, I'm not against them in the long term at all. It's just putting them back in their place. There are benefits. I mean, they're helpful for the thyroid functioning. They're
yeah,
helpful. A little bit of an insulin spike helps the body utilize protein. They can indirectly help energy. So I'm certainly not against them in their place, if you like. So
yeah,
um, without question, they can help. And with the stress side of it, I think there was actually, I'm going to say there was three. There was two main supplements I was recommending, but there was actually a third, which will have helped, funnily enough, as well, even though that won't have been the primary thing. But we got you on two main ones. Actually, one you're already taking. You're already taking magnesium, weren't you?
yeah. So magnesium, that's my favorite supplement. I love it so much. It's so good. I get scared of Rhonda. I've got to get some more quick. Yeah,
Magnesium, and again, a lot of people will have heard this before, but the quick summary on it. It's essential for absorbing, utilizing our calcium properly. And calcium is another one that's really helpful for keeping us calm because it coats the lining of the nerves. Magnesium helps the muscle relax. So that's why we do magnesium bath salts. And it also, again, people I'm sure have heard some of this before, helps the body, more to the point, regulate melatonin, which is the hormone
yeah,
that helps sleep. It helps reduce cortisol. Cortisol is the hormone that is a bit like coffee. It gets us wired, quite frankly. That helps bring that down. So the magnesium is working on a few fronts, and it also seems to help the body get rid of used estrogen so it doesn't recycle. And sometimes, and again, this is my understanding, I am not the expert in this to emphasize that, but my understanding is recycled estrogen is a problem in the body, and you do need to get it out as such. And magnesium is involved with those processes as well. So it has a lot of balancing and can be particularly useful for us lot going through perimenopause and menopause.
yeah,
Really helpful. Great for the sleep, but great for the anxiety side, helping bring it down.
yeah,
And combined with, I find at least, vitamin B5, which is our chill pill and strong nutrients. Oh, that one. I mean, we call it chill pill for a reason. It's extraordinarily helpful, I find, for supporting the adrenal glands. Again, the way I like to describe it, I find when people use it, or certainly when I use it, it helps prevent what I think of as airplane sleep, where you kind
yeah,
of sleep and you're not quite getting into it. You're sleeping,
yeah,
but you don't feel you're quite getting there. And I find it helps just let you almost drop into it. It normalizes things. We used to call that the happy vitamin because of the impact it had on mood, quite frankly. So you find you relax better, you sleep better, mood goes up, energy goes up, and it is an extraordinarily helpful one when it comes to stress. And I think it's super important to remember our adrenal glands produce 40% of our steroid hormones,
okay,
our testosterone, our progesterone, and our estrogen. We think of ovaries, but we forget the adrenals. And if we're under stress, our body, those adrenals are working on overdrive, dealing with that side of it.
yeah,
And not, I mean, that's just not going to be helpful for the production of the steroid hormones, which we really need going through perimenopause. We need
yeah,
them working at their best, not at their worst. So all of the stress can have a knock-on impact on how we feel going through the perimenopause and menopause. What used to bother us at all when we were 30, by the time we're about 48, it's
yeah,
the body's just going, just because it's all shifting and changing. So
yeah.
anything that can support the adrenals, I think, is hugely helpful.
Okay.
Hugely helpful. So yes, so they were the
So
two
they are
main.
the main ones, yes. And then the other one that well, there's a few, but I'm also taking the Amino Slim powder, and that
Yes,
at
yes.
night, that's kind of my night combination, isn't it? So can you explain why I
I
take this one?
can. I mean, this slim. Okay, this is the really fast line. Helps you burn fat while you're sleeping. Well,
Woohoo!
exactly. While we sleep, we have a natural, I suppose, recalibration of hormones, if you like.
Okay.
Insulin levels drop. There's a growth hormone release. That's the hormone that helps pushes protein into everything, helps repair the tissue and recover. And the Amino Slim, it's just an amino acid. It's L-ornithine. You get it in an egg. But when you take these away from the other amino acids on their own, it helps, the L-ornithine, the Amino Slim helps support this natural release that goes on when we sleep, that natural hormonal release. So we seem to firm up faster and we seem to lose belly fat faster. And in my experience of that supplement over the years, honestly, it works even if people don't. And I say this cautiously, my background is a nutritionist and a trainer. So just to be clear, I'm not recommending what I'm about to say next, but I know a lot of people that take it only don't change anything else. And they'll still see an inch loss around the tummy. Obviously, my recommendation is work with it, just do all of it in one go. But it does help the belly fat. And interestingly, it's another one that in some of the studies of it seems to help mood as well. Now, we don't promote that aspect of it, but it's one that can be helpful, they found, with it as well.
Okay. And I think somebody asked if you can take the Amino Slim and the magnesium at night. So that's when I do take them.
They work very well together. You absolutely can. Yes. Yeah, very well together.
And then another one that I take in the morning is this one.
Creatine.
Yeah.
Oh, I love creatine. I absolutely love.
Can you explain why I take this one?
What I love about creatine is, any of you who have teenage sons out there, your sons are probably already looking at it, if not taking it, or trying to take it at the very least. And years ago, and I really mean years ago, I used to recommend it to clients, and they'd either never heard of it, or if they had, they would look at you going, is that not banned? And quite frankly, creatine is simply part of a protein. And you get it in fish, you get it in meat, you get about 1 gram of creatine, or a little bit less than 100 grams of salmon. So you're getting little bits in if you eat fish and meat. Now, if you don't eat fish and meat, it's hard to find sources of it.
Yeah.
Your body produces a little bit by itself. Creatine creates what we call ATP. They're our energy molecules. They're what help us give us the stamina when we're training. If we do a sprint for the bus, we run up an escalator in the underground. And also our brains rely more on ATP as we go through perimenopause and menopause for energy, basically, as estrogen levels drop. So creatine is essential for that. So those of you who have teenage sons who might be taking it, they'll be taking it because in their mind it really helps build muscle. Indirectly it does. It protects the muscle and helps you train with more intensity and recover better. And it has a very, very definite impact. You will feel it. You'll notice your strength. You'll notice your stamina. But it's being recommended for people as we age to protect the muscle. So elderly people are now taking it, and I encourage my parents to take it because it protects muscle mass. It's been recommended for vegetarians and vegans for memory.
That was another issue of having memory loss. I was like, I can't remember some days even what my name is. Oh my God.
It helps with that. And for vegetarians, vegans, during menopause, perimenopause, for the same thing, to help with the brain fog and prevent it, and as well as protecting muscle mass and helping with strength and recovery from training. And it's such a simple little supplement. It's just a teaspoon. You can put it in warm to your coffee, not hot. Don't put it into a hot drink because that can kind of kill it off. But a warm drink is fine, or water, or a smoothie, or yogurt, or anything. But it's great for the stamina. It's great for the memory, for preventing the brain fog or recovering from that. Indirectly good for fat loss, but that's just because people, if they are training, you don't need to be training to take it. But if you are, it does help you train with more intensity and recover faster. Yeah.
Great, brilliant. I was also feeling really tired. What is I? So you also introduced, not from Strong Nutrients, but an iron supplement.
Yes.
So that as part of my plan also has been brilliant. And I found that I'm really not tired. I was feeling tired like 8:30 going to bed. Now I'm up to like 10:30, 11.
I love it. Yes, iron is one of these supplements. I mean, if you don't need it, you don't need it. So it's not one of those that you need to think, gosh, shall I just take it anyway? It won't make any difference to you at all if you just take it anyway.
Okay.
But if you need it, oh my gosh, you can do everything you like to get your energy levels up, but it just won't work until you get your iron back up. Hemoglobin is really what we're talking about here, and it's what helps get the oxygen around the body, transports it around the body. And ultimately, without it, it feels like you're sitting in an airplane. You know, like when you get
Yeah.
sleepy
Yeah.
and you just sort of want to close your eyes.
Yeah.
That's what low iron does to you. You almost feel like you're in an airplane all the time. You lie down 3 or 4 in the afternoon, fall asleep. You could sleep for 12 hours and want an extra hour or two, kind
Yeah.
of thing. A lot of people I find with my clients will confuse is the wrong word, because actually it is the same thing, but they will mistake the reasoning or not pay attention to the reasoning behind it. They'll say, I'm not low iron, but I've got low blood pressure.
Okay.
Now, often low blood pressure is caused by low iron.
Right. Okay.
Because it's low hemoglobin.
Yeah.
There's not enough blood getting round. So therefore the blood pressure is low. Therefore you feel lightheaded and might want to sleep. So it's worth just paying attention to that. So yes, hemoglobin iron is the one I recommended for you.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of the ferritin sort of ferritin. You know, you can get ferrous sulfates or the ferrous, the different.
Okay.
It has FERR in the title somewhere. I'm not a fan of that because it's quite an inorganic iron that the body then usually has to convert into the hemoglobin form, whereas
Yeah.
the hemoglobin is super organic and works super quickly. And in my experience with it and with customers over the years when I used to work in the health stores and with clients,
Yeah.
it doesn't have any of the side effects that you would get from the other forms of iron. The other forms, you need the magnesium, you need the vitamin C, some people get stomach cramps and so on and so forth. With this, it's so natural and so easy for the body to use immediately without having to convert. It works fast and makes a big, big difference, as you rightfully pointed out.
It was incredible, actually. Everything. I felt like a new person. I really did. Having not been asleep, I just thought, is this what happens when you get old? Oh no, it's not. Just lacking lots of supplements and vitamins in my body.
Yes, but isn't that such a good point? As in that sums it up to me. We get to a point where we're understandably,
Yeah.
we just think, oh, this is what happens when we get old.
Yeah.
And all that
Absolutely.
really
Yeah.
happens is our bodies are changing and we then need to change accordingly. What worked when we were 30 won't necessarily work when we're approaching or the other side of 50. We may need to switch it because the body's hormonal balance shifts. So and to be honest, we may need to switch it then when we're 60 again and may need to switch when we're 70 again accordingly.
Yeah.
But now you need to get smarter with nutrients, with supplements, with how you exercise and so on and so forth, and just change it up a bit to match what the body needs. And honestly, as you've clearly found out, you can lose the fat, you can have the energy to 10:30, and you can be calm and relaxed just by making a few shifts. Nothing major, nothing medical in this. It's all food related and natural and hormone, and supplement related. Exactly. Yes.
So my main goal was really to help with how I was feeling, stress and anxiety. And the losing weight is an actual bonus. And I've lost so much weight. I was saying to Zana on a call yesterday that I have a pair of trousers now that are too big for me. And I was like, I'm upset that the trousers are too big because they're new, but also delighted that they are too big. So
That's the problem in these cases. That lovely wardrobe may have to change. Apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, my health has been amazing. Now I'm following, and it's really easy to follow the diet. Once you get into a rhythm, taking the supplements is easy. I have them all on my kitchen counter, so they're in my memory. They're not out of sight. I don't put them in the cupboard. They're there, so I remember to take them. So I take them in the morning, at lunchtime, and then in the evening. So what would you say? I mean, they're all important supplements, but for my stress and anxiety, mainly the word chill pill and the magnesium rocks are high up there.
And the magnesium rocks. And
Yeah.
earlier I mentioned there was a third one that would be helping that I didn't specifically give for it.
Yeah.
Interestingly, that casein protein, because it's naturally high in calcium. Calcium. Now we don't need massive amounts of calcium, just to be clear, but it does coat the lining of the nerves. I have a question that I would have asked you when we started, which was, if somebody slams a door with loud noises, do you jump?
Yeah.
Now, not in every case. This isn't always the case, what I'm saying, but it is in the vast majority, in my experience. If a person is a jumper, it's a sign that their calcium levels can be low, because calcium creates the myelin sheath around their nerves, and if calcium's low, that reduces, and we get more nervous as we literally get more nervous. And that casein is naturally high in calcium, so it's really helpful combined with the magnesium and combined with the chill pill. And then of course the protein itself helps. You know, you're now taking that instead carbs and the sugars. It
Yeah.
stabilizes the blood sugar, keeps you fuller for longer. So in two ways, that does actually help too, even though it wasn't the primary reason for it.
Yeah. And how many grams of protein should one be taking each day? So I think
Question.
specifically
Oh,
perimenopause,
great,
menopause.
great question. Now, this will vary.
Okay.
To the best of my knowledge, there's no actual medical answer for this. Now, somebody may find that it's correct me, in which case I will take the correction.
Yeah.
But it tends to be anything, if we take it per kilogram of body weight, it's anything from up to, and I'm not necessarily recommending the up to, 3 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Now, of pure protein.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people are accepting around about, and I would agree with this, somewhere between 1.2 up to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Now, translate that. I'm talking here about pure protein. So 100 grams of salmon will have about 20 grams of pure protein.
Right. Okay.
So an egg will have about 7 grams of pure protein, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're translating it back. So protein shake, the scoop of it will have about 28 grams of pure protein.
Okay.
So there's quite a lot in that.
High, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. So you're not looking at the weight of food. You're looking at so chicken, beef, like a fillet steak might have as much 25 grams of pure protein, 100 grams. So you're breaking it back down as such. And you'll get protein obviously in things like lentils and chickpeas. You get bits of protein in lots of foods. It doesn't have to be the fish or the meat. Cheese is great. It's 20 to 25 grams per 100 grams, depending on which form you're taking. So
cottage cheese, I want to say that's a great one. You've recommended that one to me before. Yeah.
Cottage cheese is fabulous. Cottage cheese, I think, is close to the protein shake in terms of it's really good, high, lean protein, quite frankly. It's great. It's the casein, which is slow release. So you're looking at anything from 1 gram up to 1.5 grams per kilogram of your own body weight. Is approximately it. But you could go as much as 3 grams. And you can, for a few months or a few years, do high protein. And then sometimes it's good to change it up and go, right, I'm going to reduce protein back for a little while. So you can play with it a little bit, but I wouldn't play with it where you just do it for 1 week and then give it up. That's not enough chance for that body.
Be consistent.
Yes, because all of your body tissues, like everything, your skin, your nails, your hair, the enzymes, your hormones, amino acids, which are building blocks of protein, make them up. So if you're not getting in enough protein structurally, you're potentially breaking down. You want to recover. And as we age, and this is one of the last things I'll say on this, we apparently lose about, they say from the age of 30, we're losing about half a pound, which is about 220 grams or so of our lean body mass each year, which may not sound like a lot, but over 20 years between the age of 30 and the age of 50, that is a lot. That's 10 pounds. That's quite a whack for your body. So we're just looking at recovering that, kind of protecting ourselves from the ravages of aging, as they say, just literally recovering that body mass. And that is what will have you feeling more like yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yes, very much.
I think we missed a couple of questions at the beginning. So if anybody wants to message Zana or myself directly, then we can answer those for you.
Please do.
And anything extra anybody wants to ask that hasn't asked on today. And I think I did a previous reel with some food that I'm eating, but if anyone's interested, I can do like some food plans on my stories to let you know what I'm eating. Being a vegetarian.
Yes.
So do let me know.
Actually, just very briefly on that, I think that is superbly important as well, because a lot of you out there will be vegetarians or leaning in that direction. So you can get the nutrition right no matter which approach you want to take, and there's different approaches that work well. And certainly from your results, we seem to have balanced you up and got this right, which is always great.
I'm super happy with the results, and it's just been brilliant to feel calmer, feel myself again, and get really great sleep, like undisturbed sleep. And that is unless my cat jumps on me. Apart from that, it's beautiful sleep.
We can't do anything about the cats.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's great. I think have we covered everything? I think we have, haven't we, Zana? And as I said, any other questions, do let us know. But thank you for joining me today,
Well,
Zana. It's been
thank,
brilliant.
thank
Thank
you for
you.
having me very much,
Absolute
Tom. Thank
pleasure.
you. Take care.
Yeah, take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.